So I'm here today with Simon Golden. Simon, it's great to see you. And I know we are literally just now, I think today is one of our last sessions together. So wanted to kind of get your take on how things were going, where you were at before we worked together, where you're at now as we wrap up. But before we dive into the logistics, if you could kind of give us an overview of who you are, what you do.
Yeah, so I'm a book coach and ghostwriter. I help people throughout the full book writing process, guide them through it to get it done. I'm also a ghostwriter where I write the full book myself. And I tend to work with executives, consultants, executive coaches, people like that.
You have a ton of experience doing this. So I guess I'm curious, after doing this for all these years, what was it that really compelled you or made you want to work with me directly? What were you kind of struggling with that prompted us to work together?
I had 1 month where I had 30 meetings created and not a single sale.
Oh, not good.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then from there, it's like, okay, we can run the numbers and realize that you literally left hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table in one single month. It's like, yeah, we should probably
yeah,
fix.
yeah, exactly.
What do you feel like you were struggling with? Like, why do you think those meetings weren't closing? What was the
And
disconnect?
that's the crazy part of it. I felt like I was doing a good job in meetings. And so I didn't know. I had really no idea why they weren't closing. They just weren't closing. Um, I think it could partly be confidence. A lot of it was my offer and the pitch and all that and fine tuning that. I just know it wasn't happening.
So now that we've worked together, we've done
Mhm.
one-on-ones, you've been on pretty much every group call, which I love. You showing up and putting in feedback and sharing wins there. It's been great to have you a part of the group. But where are we at now? 30 meetings, zero closes. Obviously, that's like the worst we can get. We can't
Yeah.
get much worse than that unless you took 40 meetings and closed zero, but that's pretty dang bad. That's like a meeting a day, no closes. Fast forward to today as we wrap up working together. Where's the business at now?
I just closed a 10K client just the other day. It was 3 days ago. And right as I closed that, I got to the 30% conversion rate mark.
Yeah.
Remember, we had said, hey, it would be great to get to 30%. We just got that just in the last 3 days. And since working with you, has it been 4 months, 5 months? I've made 50K.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And so I think that's 9 times the return on investment.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you make the investment with me, we 9x your money in 4 to 5 months. But here's the beauty. What I taught you and what we did and accomplished together, it doesn't just go away after we stop working together, right? You'll be able to take these skills and take these things with you month over month, year after year, and continue this trajectory that you're on.
Yeah. And I want to learn more too. And I haven't told you this yet, but I want to keep going.
Yeah, we're looking forward to having you. Especially, like I said, you're on almost every group call. You always have good wins, great questions where you kind of see everyone else in the group, their ears kind of perk up and they're like, damn,
Mhm.
Simon, that was a really good question. I never would have thought of that. And then we can dive into it 5, 10, 20 minutes and make sure everybody has the answer and they're taken care of. Um, I guess what would you say if you had to pick one thing? And I know it's hard because we've done a lot together,
Mhm.
but if you had to pick one thing that really stood out to you about us working together. Maybe it was something I taught you, maybe it was a tangible or a mindset intangible. Like, what would you say that one thing that really sticks out over the past couple of months would be?
Yeah. I I guess the one thing that I took away is actually what you can get from a really good coach and consultant, someone that just has done it so many times. And I tell this to my girlfriend, I'm like, man, Austin, he fills the gaps in what I need to know so well. And the direction and guidance is perfect. So when I come away from these one-on-ones or from the group sessions, both the group sessions too, it's like, man, I just got $10,000 in value from that 1 hour.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I guess last question, if somebody's considering working with me, maybe they're just considering getting better at sales, maybe increasing their prices or whatever it may be. I mean, any advice to somebody on the fence who's kind of thinking about maybe getting a mentor or working with me directly to increase their sales?
Yeah, just think of pros and cons, look at each side of the equation. You know, the con, or I guess the pro would be, hey, you 9x your investment like I did, probably going to be like 45x if you look at that. It's only been a few months if you look at that over a few years. That's what's possible. And so what's the other side of the equation? And, you know, so that kind of like analysis, I think, can get you over the hump, or get you over the leap. And I think after our first call together, I thought about it the next day. I was like, yeah, these two options, this one is so valuable that I'm just gonna go for it and see what happens.
Like if you are missing something, you have a gap in your skill set.
Yeah.
There's only two ways to fill that gap. Number one, with time, or number two, with money. And if you want to hoard your cash and hoard your money and you want to invest the time, it's not what I would do. It's not what smart people do. But if that's what you want to do, like that's fine. It's just going to take you years and years and years and years to figure out. And what I tell people, I've taken over 7,000 calls. And the only way you can take that many meetings in such a short amount of time, just a couple of years, is to literally pack your calendar every single day, over and over and over and over again with these 1 hour meetings. And that allows you to learn very quickly, collapse the learning curve, and figure things out. So if you want to invest time and you want to take 7,000 calls to crack the code and figure it out, it's like, hey, so be it. But you could just spend a couple dollars and have all of that knowledge hand delivered to you on a silver platter. That way you can collapse the learning curve and get to where you want to go a hell of a lot faster. So I'm glad that you saw that realization and you're like, hey, let me invest with money. And here we are, a couple months later with a 9x return on investment, which is amazing.
It's awesome.
Awesome, man. Well, Simon, it's great to see you, brother. If you need anything, don't hesitate to reach out. Appreciate you jumping on, and we'll chat soon.
Talk to you soon.